In this week's Parsha, Parshat Shelach, we read of the seduction of the Jewish people by a small but vocal crowd of just 10 men. Moses sends out 12 spies to see the land of Israel, but 10 of the spies come back with a negative report. They present the facts to the Jewish people. We traveled the land of Israel. We saw it's an incredible land. Look, Zepirya, these are its fruit. But you have to understand, there are giants. We saw funerals. We saw lots of dead people. In fact, we were so small that we appeared as grasshoppers in the eyes of the inhabitants. And you should know that Amalek lives in the south. There's no ways that we're going to take this land. Let us rather stay. The rabbis explain that the spies had two reasons for their behavior and their response. Number one, they said, let's stay in the desert. We have all the miracles. Why would we want to live in a land where we have to toil? Or more insidious and dark. The spies felt that if they enter the land of Israel, they will lose their special status as leaders amongst the people. And so they come up with their complaints about the land. They say what they see drives their agenda. And the reality is, whatever the spies saw was indeed true. There were giants. There were incredible fruits. There was chaos in the land. They did see Amalek in the south. Those indeed were the facts. But the question is how you interpret them. In the shrill and the screaming and the shouting, Joshua and Caleb silence the crowd, and Caleb says, have you lost your mind? We talk about Moses and God, who did the 10 plagues, took out our Egypt, split the sea, brought us into the desert. We saw God's presence at Mount Sinai. He's fed us in the desert with the manna. God will bring us into the land. But the people panicked. They listened to the social media. They got seduced by the message of the spies. They panicked, and all was lost. God's response was, that's it. 40 years you will wander in the desert. Your moment has been lost. And suddenly the people realized what they had bought into and the folly of their ways. And they say to Moses, we made a mistake. Let's go up. Moses says, too late. And the story of the spies is a warning to each and every one of us. The spies presented their case. They presented the facts. But because they had an agenda, they skewed the narrative to suit their cause. And so the question is as follows. Are we being seduced and swayed by the voices that surround us? How do we find the truth? And so at the end of the parasha, the Torah tells us a mitzvah called tzitzit. Look at these tzitzit strings. See the commandments, and that will prevent you from straying. Looking at these strings, you might say to yourself, how on earth are these strings going to achieve anything? They're just knots and strings. But what they do is, they cause us to pause for a second, just to look at the strings and meditate and go, 613, tzitzit, 600, 8 strings and 5 knots, 613. Let me just pause for a second. Let me just take a step back. Let me not get so caught up in the motions of the moment. Let me reflect. Let me think. Let me consult. Let me ask. Because the spies seduce the people through emotion and panic. We are seeing this every single day in the media, where voices are being drowned out because of the shrill of the crowd. The story of the spies is a warning to us all, and one that is repeated year in, year out. The spies presented the facts, but the facts did not tell the full story. The facts played into a narrative. Be careful to what you listen to. Do your research, and if necessary, pause and look at the tzitzit so you can calm down, so you can think and not be pushed into positions where you'll regret your decision. Shabbat Shalom. Hi, this is Rabbi Lewin. If you've enjoyed the content of the sermons and the ideas that have been expressed in the YouTube video, please hit that subscription button and notification bell, and share the videos with friends. We'd love to grow the channel and love to engage with you. Please share your comments in the section below. I'd love to hear from you. Have an amazing day.